This video is an introduction to linear inequalities with one variable. Right here, if you look at this, let's try and figure out, just go back and thinking about what these symbols mean and the numbers. First off, what is this symbol when it's pointing over here towards the left? That right there is less than. Now, if you took this, see, one of the ways I tried to help people understand, let's see if I can get this the way I want it to. That looks like that's the less than symbol, right? Well, if you think about it, how do you know if it's less than or greater than? If I took this and I opened it up, it makes an L. Okay? So this symbol, how I can just open it up and spread it out, that's one way to remember that this is the less than. This one right here, pointing the other way, pointing to the right, is greater than. See, if I try to do the same thing with that, with those arrows, with those lines, if I went and opened, oh, I just made the same one, silly me. Let's see here. There we go. Now if I went, this is that greater than symbol, if I went to try and open it up, well, that's not an L. That doesn't do anything for me, so it's just another way to try and remember maybe which one is less than, which one is greater than. And this symbol we should already know is equal to. So right here, 6. What is 6 compared to 8? Well, 6 is smaller than 8. 6 is less than 8. Looking at number 2, right here, negative 4. Is negative 4 bigger than 4? Is it equal to 4? No, it's less than. It's less than 4. Next one over here, looking at this, I have 0. And negative 7. Which number is larger? The 0 is larger. That's going to be my greater than. Looking at these two symbols right here, negative 2 and negative 3. Which number is larger? It's going to be negative 2, so it should be greater than. Now, a lot of people still struggle with that, and if you think about it on a number line, another way you could think about that is that I have a 0 right here. And then say I'm going out here, that's a positive 5, and over here is a negative 5. Anytime you're going towards the right, you're getting bigger. The numbers are getting larger. Anytime I'm going towards the left, I'm getting smaller, which is less than. Okay, looking at these, if you sat down and tried to think about words and what these symbols mean. This one right here is less than. Let's think of another one we could have. Smaller than. Let's just do a couple over here. This one right here we know is greater than. Bigger than. Larger. More than. I forgot the E, more than. What about this symbol here? This symbol is less than or greater to. This one could be up to, meaning that you could go up to a certain number, but you're not going to go larger than it, okay? It's going to be, let's see, maybe something like the speed limit, because if the speed limit is 55, you're going to go up to 50. You can go 55 or low or smaller. Okay? There are other ones. We'll fill those in as we go along and add to them. This one here, the symbol is greater than. Greater than, I'm sorry, or equal to. More than. No, not more than. We have that over there. Let's see. What else could we have? I'm trying to think here. You must be, maybe it's a height requirement. You have to be at, oh, there it is. At least. There's probably one of the most important ones right here. At least. And if I go back over here on that other one, right here, at most. That one is very important right here. On this one right here, I've got equals. Now, when I'm graphing, and you'll see this on the number line, anytime there's an equal to, like equals, the greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, you're going to graph by using a colored in dot, because it means it's going to be equal to that number. Anytime, see how you have less than and greater than? It will always be an open circle at that number wherever you are at. Now, when it's less than, you're going to be shading towards the left. Greater than, you're going to be shading towards the right. Less than or equal to, left than, left than. Left, you're going to shade to the left. Greater than, you're going to shade to the right. When it's equal to, all you're going to do is put a dot. Okay, so there's some of the other words right here that you should have. Okay, so I would take some time, I would pause it, and I would write down these words that would be used in a word problem. Next, right here, fill in the boxes below with the correct symbol. Pause this video, and then come back and check and see how you did. 3 is less than 7. 8 is greater than 5. -7 is less than 7. -6 is greater than -9, because this is closer to 0. If it's closer to 0, then it's larger, like if it's a negative number. Here's the next one. Complete the table. It says x is 4. X equals 4. So that means we go out to 4 and we will put a dot. What does this mean? It means x is -3. So I will go to -3 and I will put a dot. X is less than -2. X is less than -2. Okay, so what we said a minute ago was if it was less than, we're going to go to that number. We're going to go to -2 and make an open circle. Less than, it's towards the left because we're getting smaller. So we will shade to the left. Next one. What does this mean if I wrote it in words? X is less than 1. So now if I go over here to 1, I'm going to put an open circle. Less than, I'm going to shade to the left. This next one, x is, now this isn't just less than. What does that symbol that mean? That symbol is less than or equal to. Now, what that means is I go to 3 and I'm going to put a colored in circle because it can be 3 and it's also any number smaller than 3. So I'm going to shade to the left. Next, I have x is less than or equal to. X is less than or equal to -1. So I'm going to go to -1. Because there's an equal to bar, I'm going to color it in. Less than is towards the left. I'm going to shade to the left. Next, I have x is greater than -3. So I'll go to -3. I'll put an open circle. Greater than, I'm going to the right because I'm getting larger. The next one, what does this mean? These symbols, algebraic symbols. X is greater than 0. So I will go to 0. It does not have an equal to line, so I'm going to put an open circle. And since it's greater than, I'm going to shade to the right. The next one says x is greater than or equal to 1. Now to graph it, see how it says equal to? You're going to go to 1 and put a colored in circle. Greater than is towards the right. The next one, look, we have only this graph and we need to figure out what it's saying. Well, first off, I have x. Now, I'm starting at -2, so I can put it here. It's a colored in circle, so I'm going to have an equal to bar. It's pointing to the right, That is greater than or equal to. So I'm going to write x is greater than or equal to -2. Here's the next one. Take a minute, pause the video, and see if you can match them up correctly. First thing I will look at is they all have x's. They all have -2's. Well, what's the difference in these? The way they're shading and the colored in circles. So the first thing I'm going to look at, I know that the ones that have a colored in circle is going to have an equal to bar on them. Okay? So the other thing I can look at, first off, in letter A, x, and then it's pointing to the right, it's going to be greater than -2. I do not put an equal to bar because it's an open circle. So this one matches down here, which will be right here, letter A. I'll cross that out. I can look, now this one, see this has an open circle, so that means it's not going to have the equal to bar. This one is pointing to the left, and that's going to be less than. So my answer here is C. B you should have gotten down here for 14, and D would have been 12. Here's the next one. It says, which inequality best represents the graph listed below? Well, first off, see how it's at 3? It has a colored in circle? That means it's got to have the equal to bar. This one does not have it. Cross it out. This one does not have it. Cross it out. It is pointing to the right. All of these numbers are larger, so it's greater than. Your answer should be C. Now, one of the things we haven't talked about is what type of numbers are a solution? If they are a solution to the inequality, it means that it makes this inequality true. Well, if it makes it true, it's going to be in the shaded area. So, for example, up here on number 15, what type of numbers are a solution to this inequality? You could have 4, that's in the shaded area. What about 5.5? Yes. 6? Yes. 8.88888888. All of that could be in there. That's because it's in the shaded area. What type of numbers are not a solution? Well, that would be all of these that would be over here not in the shaded area, like -2, -1, 0. So if you look at this next one, which of the following numbers could be a value of x given the inequality? Well, I need numbers that are greater than -5. That means that they're bigger than -5. So take a minute and try and figure out which ones of those that would work. Well, is -10 bigger than -5? No, because it's farther to the left. That one doesn't work. 5 is bigger than -5. 0 is. Is -5 larger than -5? No, it is equal to. 2 is bigger, and so is 7.